Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another Cold War Zombies video. And earlier today I uploaded a video talking about how it looks like Hudson might be the new director of Requiem. And before I go any further, just want to let you know there's going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen the end cutscene yet for Toten, you should probably check it out. You don't necessarily need to do the Easter egg. It's a little bit more complicated. It's still kind of easy, but a little bit more complicated. So if you don't have time to do the main Easter egg, you can probably just go watch an uploaded video of the end cutscene. Again, so earlier today I talked about how a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Hudson as director. It shows behind them because Hudson's signature look is the white button-down shirt with a tie and rolled up sleeves. But this is going to give you another view, maybe the other side of the coin, put the shoe on the other foot, or just another view of who else could be the director of Requiem. The zombies community is probably split a little bit, maybe 50-50. Some people are thinking it's Hudson, and some people are thinking it's Eddie. But there were a bunch of clues that I talked about earlier in the week leading up to the release of Toten. How I tried to explain to a couple of the big YouTubers that the way Treyarch does Easter eggs, and I've been saying this for probably about 5 years now, the way they do Easter eggs are the most clever way that they do them, and it's the smartest, clever way that you'll never pick up on it, and I've said this probably like a dozen times now. Visual Easter eggs are the Achilles heel of zombie YouTubers and the zombies community, because it's not easily data mined, and I guess it just goes with the new generation of players versus old generation of players. So anyways, I'm going to explain to you what the Easter egg was. I did talk about it a few days ago, maybe even a few weeks ago when they first released the trailer. And it's going to give you another view of who the director could be. Again, this is Hudson. Some people are thinking it's him. I already talked about it earlier today. Went over a couple yeses and maybe no's or yays and nays of why it could be him. I'm not going to pretty much go over it again. I'm just going to kind of move on. So, like I mentioned a few days ago, maybe even a week or two ago, Treyarch released the trailer for Toten. Towards in the beginning and towards the end, there are two silhouettes. One looking like it's Valentina. The second one looking like it could be Richtofen, maybe returning of some point or some form. I mean, it's still not 100% guaranteed. I thought maybe he's lost in the dark ether, or it could just be hinting at him. Some people still see Valentina, some people see Richtofen. So I was asking around what people think. Again, some of this might just be kind of repetitive, but I mentioned during that a few weeks ago that I understand it's part of being young. You don't want to go against what your friends are saying or other people are saying. It's all peer pressure. Generations and generations of kids have dealt with it. Dealing with peer pressure, and they don't want to say no to their friends and look like the oddball or the outcast or whatever. So everybody eventually needs or wants to conform to the majority of the group. There's actually a name for that in psychology. I can't think of it right now, but it's pretty much going with the group instead of individualism. So at the second part, and this is the Easter egg that I tried to explain to some people, Treyarch hides stuff pretty cleverly. So the second one, which is this one, and I kind of brightened it up, made it look a little bit easier. I was saying it could look like a younger, slimmer Richtofen. And then right after this scene, Treyarch shows this, and I said, "Oh, D.E.R. Dr. Edward Richtofen." And it's hard to get through to people because, like I said, I understand it's part of being young. You're a YouTuber. You don't want to look bad in front of your subs, the other YouTubers, so everybody gets it wrong. So everybody just wants to agree with it, so they don't look like the oddball. But I tried to explain to them. I even tweeted some of the devs. Tagged some of the devs and the YouTubers. I'm like, hey, this could mean Dr. Edward Richtofen is going to show up in Toten somehow, either coming out of the dark ether or somewhere in the map. Of course, like I said, them being as clever as they are, Treyarch, or probably most people, didn't realize it was going to be the director of Requiem. And again, this is how they trick people. This is why they're the best in the business, and I'm going to explain that. The way they do stuff, you'll never be able to predict it. I mean, I went back and solved a bunch of stuff in the old games, and stuff like this. I'm trying to keep up with it now, whereas before I would just do multiplayer and battle royale, blackout, and stuff like that. Then I eventually go back to zombies and like look at some of the Easter eggs that people missed. So this is when I tried to, uh, you know, nip it in the bud, so to speak. I'm like, oh, that looks like Richtofen. The first one looks like Valentina, so they're going to trick you, making it look like they put Valentina twice, but in actuality, it's probably Richtofen somehow, or hinting at Richtofen coming down the road. Um, and right at, see, if this was like 3 scenes after, I would be like, okay, it's just a coincidence. But when they do this, then they do this, they're telling you to look at this. And then, like, it's actually been like 12 years. People still probably don't know that anytime there's blood on a map, that means that there's an Easter egg around. The blood is hinting to you, hey, look at this over here. Or it could be like a handprint, maybe press this button. So there's lots of that people, and again, like I mentioned, visual Easter eggs, people can't figure it out. So I again tweeted some of the zombie YouTubers like, hey, right after they show what could be Richtofen, they do this, and that obviously means Dr. Edward Richtofen. That is how clever Treyarch is. Again, knowing how young they are, people don't want to stand out. They just want to kind of stay in the crowd and conform to everyone. So what I'm talking about, at the end of the cutscene, you see this guy with rolled up sleeves. There's a watch on his right hand, drinking out of a cup that says "Best Director Ever." And same thing, how they trick people. I'm like, everybody's gonna think that's Hudson. I thought it was Hudson at one point, but I'm trying to keep open-minded and show people how Treyarch hides Easter eggs. So again, most people are gonna say, hey, that's Hudson. Case closed. But what they're forgetting is how clever Treyarch is. And this is Richtofen from Blood of the Dead. And I'm going to kind of keep this short and sweet because it's pretty much might be the answer, the way that they hide it. So when he picks up the gem or jewel or whatever it is, or diamond, he has the same rolled up sleeves as the director. So that could be hinting like, hey, this could actually be Richtofen. Again, he has the same slim body. If you're gonna argue it, I would say that Hudson's more muscular built. Um, Actually, no, it's still kind of slim, but he's maybe a little bit more muscular built, maybe more than Richtofen. Richtofen is a little bit more slender and slim, and especially here when he, like I said, picks up the gem, that could be either this Richtofen or maybe the alternate reality Richtofen or Eddie from the end of Tag to Toten. That, hey, look, this could be him with the rolled up sleeves. He doesn't have a watch on, not that I know of. I know Hudson's signature thing is the watch, but again, that's how I try and tell people. I know you can tell them until you're blue in the face. People are just gonna want to believe what they want to believe, and Treyarch probably put that watch there to trick everyone that it's, oh, that's definitely Hudson, case closed, but it's probably Richtofen. Again, the way that they did this Easter egg right after each other, like, hey, Dr. Edward Richtofen's gonna show up in the map somehow, or hinting at him coming down the road. But when you look at this for me is probably more case closed, where I think the thing that people have to realize, and they'll never realize it, if it's too obvious, they're misleading you. They did that in the Chaos story. They did that in every single game and map prior. They're gonna, what I call, and I've mentioned it before, red herrings. They're misleading you, giving you misdirection to like believe that that's definitely Hudson, but it's probably Richtofen, either Edward Richtofen. He maybe he didn't die in the end cutscene. Maybe again somehow we still don't know what happened at the end of Tag Toten, and we just still don't know what happened at the end of Blood of the Dead. So it could mean that something might have happened where he didn't die. Maybe Victus saved him when they came out of the pods. But it looks like it could also be Richtofen, either the new Eddie or the old one. Maybe again he didn't die somehow. But the fact, I guess this is more talking about how you try and explain stuff to people, and I've said this multiple times. It's been like 12 years. There's people in the zombies community that probably really haven't solved anything, and then you try and the person who has solved the most, and like, okay, I'm going to show them what this means or what that means, and they still, for some reason, um, don't want to see stuff or still get tricked by Treyarch, which is fine. I understand everybody doesn't want to know the end of a movie. They don't want to look too much into it. They just want to figure stuff out on their own. But I'm going to leave it there pretty quick and simple. I think that's pretty much it. So it could also be Richtofen. More than likely it is, because it's too obvious to be Hudson. The way that Richtofen has the rolled up sleeves, that for sure. Again, could be Richtofen. It'd be cool if it's some crazy story like he didn't die, he maybe came to the forest and, stopped Samantha from killing Nikolai. It could be a whole bunch of things, which is cool because it pretty much can go in any direction at this point. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it at that. Again, it was hinted at a while ago in the original trailer that it could be Richtofen returning. That is obviously maybe tricking us thinking it's Hudson, but it's probably Richtofen or Eddie. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.